Yogendra, here is your name charge-sheeted. In fact, you've been accused as the co-conspirator to the Delhi riots. Your sentiments on this?
First, a technical clarification. Actually, that report from PTI, which says that police has named me as co-conspirator or Mr. Yechury, is inaccurate. Police has filed a charge sheet. The charge sheet includes our name in passing. In the disclosure statement of one of the witnesses, it says people like Yechury and Yogendra used to come and give inflammatory speeches. But the police has not named us as accused, let alone co-conspirator. But the important point, that's a technical clarification. But the fact is, police is trying to drag all the anti-CAA protesters into the net one way or the other. My simple question to Delhi police is, whatever Sitaram Yechury said, Apoorvanand said, Harshmander said, or I said, is on record. All our speeches are in the public domain. Why doesn't the police cite a report? I have never heard Harshmander speak for 10 minutes without speaking about Gandhi, non-violence, Mohabbat. Professor Apoorvanand has always spoken of democratic methods. Every single speech that I gave is available. If Delhi police has a problem, I will make a copy available to them. Why don't they cite even one sentence from our speech to say what was provocative? Or all this is simply a ruse to somehow...
Here in the charge sheet, it categorically says that you've been accused of asking anti-CAA protesters to go to any extreme in spreading discontent within a community, calling the CAA, NRC as anti-Muslim, and also asking people to organize demonstrations to malign the image of the government of India. This is exactly what's quoted in the charge sheet.
Yeah, that is the disclosure statement given by one of the accused on page 7. All I'm saying is, so why doesn't the Delhi police make the effort of trying to check? Because every single video of what we said is available on record. I would be most happy to give Delhi police a copy of what I said. Instead of saying all these things, why don't they quote one sentence from what I said? One sentence from what Yechury said? Why don't they want to make that effort? And for your benefit, I can say...
Your opinion, is this a conspiracy against you, Mr. Yogendra, and the likes?
I think it's a conspiracy against Delhi police. Poor fellows have been given a conclusion before they could begin investigation. The Home Minister of this country, on the 11th of March, made a statement on the floor of the House, which pretty much announced the conclusions of the investigation. And then Delhi police has been asked to investigate. So, those people who made blatant statement in public, clearly inciting, and you and Rajdeep have spoken about those statements, the police does not even ask them. They have not even been invited for one round of questioning. What about Kapil Mishra? What about the union ministers who were openly inciting people? They have not even been questioned. And those who speak about Gandhi, non-violence, truth, democratic means, they are being dragged into this net. So I think it's a conspiracy to malign whatever the image is left of Delhi police.
Right. Mr. Yogendra Yadav, do stay with us. We have Rajdeep Sardesai, our consulting editor, on the phone line as well. Rajdeep, here we have Yogendra joining us. He speaks about this misinformation that the Delhi police may have had. He says he's willing to contribute, he's willing to give out all those documents on all those recordings of all those speeches that he's made and all of the likes, where they've not spoken a line without using a word Gandhi, using the word peace. So by what means is this instigative? He's right here.
Well, I think, Nabila, at some stage, we have to start recognizing that the Delhi riots are being viewed entirely through a political prism. And the political prism is effectively looking at the entire agitation that preceded it against the Citizenship Amendment Act. The government is seeing that in itself as some form of a provocative, seditious act. The fact that those who were peacefully protesting have already, some of them, been arrested, have spent jail terms, including student activists. clearly shows that those actually involved in the violence are slowly getting away, while those who are accused of for their political views are being dragged into this. So I think the Delhi police will be the one who will have to answer the question. Yogendra Yadav, if he is ready to put out all his videos as he claims, he should put those videos out. Let those videos, his statements come out in the public, and let the public decide, let the police decide, let the courts decide. But it is clear to me, Nabila, that this case now has acquired a distinct political color, where it seems that the investigation is less on the rioters and much more on the political affiliations of those who are protesting preceding the riots.
Can I just add a line here, Nabila?
Go on, Mr. Yogendra.
I don't have to put anything out in the public domain. It already is. All that Delhi police has to do is to go to my Facebook. On my Facebook, every single speech that I gave against CAA is already there. So the Delhi police just has to do nothing. They just have to do it. And I'm sure this is the case with Harsh Mandar, this is the case with Apoorvanand, with Omar Khalid. All of them, all these things are in public domain. Why doesn't the Delhi police even quote one line from that? That is what shocks me. And what also really deeply pains me are number of students, young colleagues, who do not have the kind of visibility that some of us have, whose speeches may not have been recorded, but who have been picked up without any truth, who have been tortured. We have cases of custodial torture who are being threatened. Is this investigation into a riot and violence? My question is the Delhi police inquiring into a conspiracy, or is this investigation itself a conspiracy?
Right, Mr. Yogendra, here is a specific mention on the statements, the confessions given by 3 students, the Women's Collective Pinjra Tod members and the JNU students, Devangana Kalita, Natasha Narwal, as well as Gulfisha Fatima. They say that they've literally mentioned names of Ms. Ghosh, Apoorvanand and Roy, calling them their mentors. And they say categorically that they were asked to carry out protests condemning the government of India and deeming CAA and NRC as anti-Muslim per se.
Tell me, since when has become opposing an anti-constitutional law has become a crime? Yes, I'm saying it now on your channel. It does not, that particular piece does not name me. But let me declare it. Yes, I went around all over the country inviting people, requesting them to oppose CAA in a peaceful, democratic way, because I believed then, and I continue to believe, that it is anti-constitutional. It goes against the very foundation of my country. It is against the values of my freedom struggle. Why should I not oppose it? Is opposing CAA a crime?
Right. Let me cut across to Rajdeep. Rajdeep, here we're looking at 3 students who've confessed before the police, and they have named particularly Ms. Ghosh, Apoorvanand and Roy, calling them their mentors, and their confession says that they asked us to go to any extreme, condemning this act, the NRC, the CAA, calling this anti-Muslim, and of course to malign the government of India. And based on these confessions is this charge sheet.
Nabila, let's be very clear. Is any
Rajdeep, can you hear us? We're going to try and patch him back. Mr. Yoganand, do take us through what next now? What is it that you plan to do? Will you challenge this? What more?
First thing that I want to point out, these are police disclosures which have zero value in law. Any statement given to police, and in most of these cases, I'm very sure Natasha, Devangana and Gulfisha have not even signed this statement. So this statement has zero value in law. It has only publicity value as long as channels are happy to run it. Otherwise, it has no value in law. So there is no formal statement as yet. I cannot believe, and I'm willing to take full responsibility, that people like Apoorvanand, Rahul Roy, and Harsh Mandar, or Professor Jayati Ghosh for that matter, they would ask people to go to any extent and to commit violence. No, they have not done anything of that kind. And if so, why doesn't Delhi police make public disclosure disclosure of those evidence? Why is it being done through some oral evidence given by some witness who does not even sign it?
So Yogendra, here we're looking at several others apart from yourself. Of course, here Fatima's statement, Gulfisha Fatima, who's confessed, also names Bhim Army Chief Chandrasekhar, Union Against Hate activist Omar Khalid, some other leaders like the Muslim community, from the Muslim community, particularly ex-MLA Mateen Ahmed and MLA Amanatullah Khan. They're also named as co-conspirators there. Mr. Yogendra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I cannot speak about everyone else who I do not know. Some of the persons you mentioned, I don't know what they did. I cannot assume they were guilty or not guilty. But Omar Khalid, Harsh Manzar, I've been to several speeches with them and to informal meetings. It is impossible for me to believe that they would have done any of these things. And let us not take confessional statements to police seriously. Let us not raise these things to that level. I'm sure all this would be contested. I'm sure truth finally will emerge. But I'm deeply disturbed to see that instead of even asking questions, let alone investigation, let alone interrogation, the police is not even asking elementary questions of those who in public were inciting violence, and is deeply probing those who were talking about Gandhi and non-violence. That's shocking.
Mr. Yogendra, thank you very much for joining us.